I was waiting for that. Well, another one bites the dust, ladies and gentlemen. AFC Wimbledon 0, Rotherham 1, and if you told me they only would have lost 1-0, I would have been content. Not content with the fact that we still wouldn't have put any points up on the board, but I mean, we played okay. We've had spells. Last 30 minutes, just all Rotherham, really. All Rotherham in the last 30 minutes, just pinning us back. Unfortunately, we played really direct in the last 25-30 minutes. Nothing to show for it. Unfortunately, the likes of Ihekwe, Harding, Maddock, the back three, winning a lot of headers on our final third. Cosgrove really didn't pose too much of a threat. Didn't really win as many headers as I thought he should have or could have, considering his stature. I think, the front three of AFC Wimbledon, Rudoni, Cosgrove, Asal, rather, even though Rudoni came off eventually for Blade and McCormick came off for Asal, or vice versa, actually. I think the front three were kind of quiet in the second half. Rudoni was a threat. He was a factor in the first half, taking his men on 1v1. Maddock had a bit of a hard time dealing with him. He actually drew the foul on one instance as he stepped over to the right, drawing the foul on the right-hand side. Nothing came of that free kick attempt, though. We didn't take advantage of the opportunities that we had. We had a couple of free kicks that we won. One on the right side from Rudoni drawing the foul, one on the left side from Asal holding the ball up and drawing the foul. Asal did great in the hold-up, actually. He held up the ball up on the corner flag a couple of times. One on our defensive end, one on their defensive end. And Asal was good off the ball press as well. I think Guinness Walker did really good in the first half, actually. His defensive positioning, even though he was an outside mid, didn't get caught too many times. And when they did try to play the ball over the top to Smith or Ogbene, Guinness Walker was immediately there. He was immediately there to track back defensively, blocked a couple of crosses, good defensive positioning. Daniel Choka, I was happy to see him starting today. I mean, he did decent. He did come off for Nightingale, which is a bit of a surprise that it was him coming off instead of Kalambayi. And Nightingale was a bit suspect, actually. There were a couple instances where Smith was able to hold the ball up, out-muscle him, take a turn around him, play a through ball. In one instance in which there was a through ball played in behind Nightingale. It was a really well-timed run from Smith. And then Smith, thankfully, it was Hennigan that was able to track back defensively and get in the sliding challenge. And then another instance where defensively kind of shaky a little bit in the middle of that second half. There was a through ball on the left-hand side to Grigg, and then just drove it low and hard to Smith. On that instance, it was Paul Kalambayi who tried to outmuscle Grigg and win the header, but he didn't get a full leap on it because Grigg was able to outmuscle him, just get a little bit of a kind of a shoulder on him and just let the ball roll. Grigg, only 2 goals in the season, actually had a disallowed goal in the first half. Yeah, on the goal, actually, Che Alexander was caught a little bit high. Obviously, he started as a wing back, not as a regular outside back, but got caught a little high. Through ball was played from, I think it was Lindsay, who, by the way, had so much time and space. Jack Rudoni took a few seconds to close him down, and when he did try to close him down, it was too late. He already found the through ball. He already found the off the ball run from Smith, I think it was, who ended up drawing Nightingale out to try to commit a challenge or block the cross, and unfortunately, Smith was just able to play it quickly down to Coyote, and Coyote was able to just stick his foot out and knot it home. Or when I say knot it home, that implies it's a header, but he was able to steer it home with his left foot. Nick Zanev could have done a little bit better in that instance. He did take a step out to close the angle, but his positioning relative to the near post wasn't the best. And it just went straight to the near post. Actually, the ball ended up kind of towards the center of the goal, which kind of insinuates that, Zanev wasn't the best positioning-wise. I wouldn't blame Hennigan for that one. He was behind Coyote, but that's because Nightingale was drawn out to try to commit the challenge because Che Alexander was caught a little high. And then Hennigan tried to recover and try to get the sliding challenge in to try to get a foot on the ball to try to clear it, but Coyote got there first. Really good work from Coyote, who was a great substitute. Actually, Greg was a little bit quiet in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the second half. He had a good first half, But then Coyote came on, and he was a nuisance for our back line. I think Che Alexander overall had kind of a quiet game. There weren't too many instances where he was able to get on the attacking end and put crosses to the box. And on the defensive end, he was okay. He wasn't fantastic. Nesta Guinness-Walker played pretty well, actually, as a wing back. Plays better as a wing back than an outside back, in my opinion. And even as a wing back, he did actually recover defensively well. But when you don't put as much responsibility on the defensive end, I think Nesta Guinness-Walker has more freedom, honestly. And I think he's better as a wing back, in my opinion. And when Lee Brown comes back, I think he can play as a wing back instead of Che Alexander. But keep Nesta Guinness-Walker on that right-hand side. Maybe Paul Osu if he's in form. But keep Guinness-Walker if he's still in form. If he plays well the next game, perhaps if Robinson gives him the nod, absolutely go forward with that. And overall, just defensive woes on a couple of occasions from Nightingale. Defensive woes a couple of times in general from the back four of AFC Wimbledon. And, we did better overall defensively. First half we did well. When Rotherham were putting pressure on us on the second half of the second half, I think we did good in terms of defensive shape, but we just couldn't create on the offensive end. It was just an easy 1-0 victory for Rotherham. But I thought George Marsh played well as always, held the ball up. There wasn't an instance where he ever lost the ball. There was one instance where he played over a ball over the top, intended for a Sal. And in that instance, I think Sal was able to take a touch to his right foot, try to play it square to Cosgrave, and Cosgrave took a shot. It was blocked. But decent work from AFC Wimbledon in the first half, offensively and defensively minded. The second half was just a complete far cry from that first half. All Rotherham pretty much. And I don't think AFC Wimbledon really created a clear-cut chance throughout the game. And just sucks, man. It's another one bites the dust. That's all I have to say about that one. But yeah, thanks for coming along. I'm going to make this one short and sweet. Yeah. On to the next one, I guess. AFC Wimbledon will be playing against Sunderland. Another home game. It's going to be 4 out of 5. Still not getting any results, though. Only 2 points in the last 4 home games. 2 points in the last 5 games in general. Sunderland are woeful, though. I mean, they lost their last 3 games to Cheltenham 2-1, Doncaster 2-1, Bolton 6-0, obviously. That was a thrashing. So, we can get after it, certainly. We'll see, though. Yeah, 3 shots, 1 on target for the Dons, and 20 shots for Rotherham. 20, most of them being shots that were kind of high, kind of wayward. But, yeah, there were a couple instances where AFC Wimbledon could have created chances, actually. There was a free kick whipped in by Hartigan that Luke McCormick on the near post tried to nod it in, missed the header entirely, and it bounced back over to him. He was forced back out by Hiekwe, I think it was. So, kind of rough there if you're Luke McCormick. Could have gone a header towards goal there. And then trying to think of another chance that AFC Wimbledon could have converted but didn't. I think there was one moment where there was a Nesta Guinness-Walker played a Sal through. Guinness-Walker ran straight to the top of the 18. This was in the first half, by the way. And Ayuba Sal kind of took a little bit too much time to play it to Nesta. Could have played it through to Nesta first time, but instead he took a touch to his right, played it square to Nesta. Nesta played it out to Hartigan, and then Hartigan got the cross off that was blocked for a corner, I think it was. I don't remember, but by the way, timer's still going, by the way. I completely apologize for that one. But all around, AFC Wimbledon just couldn't create chances on the offensive end. Only 3 shots, 1 on target. So in terms of what I think we could do next game out against Sunderland, I think Sunderland are in poor form. I think, just keep at it with the 3-4-3, 4-2-3-1. When we play that 4-2-3-1, we're just a bit too negative with our possession sometimes. I think, we made some strides against Cheltenham and against Charlton. But I still think we should go with this 3-4-3. I think it was a nice change. And if we can get Lee Brown, especially if we get Lee Brown back, I think the 3-4-3 would be a sumptuous idea. Having Guinness-Walker once again as an outside wingback. Lee Brown as the other wingback. And also, having Lee Brown playing as that wingback allows him to go up forward more. He likes to put a couple balls into the box every now and again. Maybe drive it towards goal with his left foot, far post. He's had a couple of those goals throughout his career. Yeah, continue with that 3-4-3. The only problem is, Chislett didn't get to come in today, which kind of made me a little sad because Chislett has been in good form. That's the only issue with this 3-4-3 is that, Rudoni and Asal are pretty much must starts every game unless Asal is in really bad form. I think, maybe bringing on a Blade as a wing back. There were a couple instances where he held the ball up and he played it back out to another player, and he tried to get in behind one instance where Jack Rudoni tried to play him over the top, but he couldn't get on the other end of it. But Blade is an outside winger type of individual, not a bad idea either. The thing is that 3-4-3, unfortunately, we're gonna have to axe either a Blade or Chislett, unless they both come on as substitutes later in the game. I think McCormick coming on as a substitute wasn't too bad, but he's didn't really do too well today. We'll see what happens, though, going forward. I think 3-4-3 is definitely a breath of fresh air compared to the 4-2-3-1, and we'll see what happens going forward.